So the next one is land reform, right? Land reform. Okay, we're on a globe. Each country has a section of land. Am I okay? Right? And here in America, which probably would work in other larger countries like China and Russia and India, that has a lot of space. But for one, and I get some of the idea from living in Korea for a little bit while I was in the army and seeing how they have their subway system connected to their cities to where when you get off the subway, there's your shopping. So if you wanted to go to that city and do their major shopping in that area, it's kind of nice. It's just like, oh, I can ride the train from my city to their city because I want to go shop at that place, right? So, so land reform here in America, just to give you a short overview, if we start building our cities along our major highways and actually moving things, like stop the sprawl of everything and uh, condense things like Korea has to do, um, because they're the size of Indiana and have almost the same amount of people that we do. Okay, I think, uh, or at least over a large amount. Anyways, and then so if we do that and we move some of the things and along the highways, right on the edges of every highway is the commercial zones. Okay, and then right behind those commercial zones, and I was figuring for the commercial zone on both sides of the highway, you give a half a mile in both directions along the whole thing. And that'll be plenty of space for growth and change and for things to be moved in. Okay. And then right bordering with the commercial zone and going out, then you have the necessities of families. Parks. Oh, wait. Well, right at the back part, you would have apartments. Okay. Because and condos that some people would like to live right at the city, especially young people. That's the type of housing that you would create, um, make it affordable for young kids moving out of their parents' house, and they could be right there. But anyway, so the next section is parks, libraries, uh, you'd have your gas stations and grocery stores in this stretch, and that's another half mile. Okay, well, or maybe not. Maybe just like I don't know. It's still a plan. I get lost because once I start thinking about things again, I want to like delve into it. Um, so then after that part is your neighborhoods, right? Suburban America, and so that they come out of their suburban, they can go uh, for their short drives here, or and then go into their city, right? But uh, also, the best part is that now you can have a very efficient bus system, city bus system, going through all the neighborhoods up into the city because it's a long stretch. So they just very efficiently get into the city and they can walk around and do their entertainment because that's what that commercial zone is for, is all shopping, entertainment, and all that. And if you go shopping for clothes and things like that, not groceries, okay, that wouldn't be in there, but restaurants, bars, clubs, and okay, it's entertainment, uh, and you should have multiple like comedy clubs, you know, and uh, clubs where people trying to be a musician can come and play. Anyways, and then so like the neighborhoods feed, and it'd be even with walking distance maybe, or riding a bike, you know, from the neighborhood into the city be very easy too. So you're cutting down on traffic, so much traffic by building this way. And then also uh, underneath the highway, uh, in between the commercial zones, underneath there is your subways, right? And then also in between the top could have your speed train. And then you also have a lot room. Make sure you got to have room for trees and flowers. One thing that's wonderful about Korea is that you walk their neighborhoods and they will have trees, and they uh, where my sister-in-law lives, they have like a little creek in the concrete jungle, and my wife had put two turtles in there, and they survived. And there's other living things in there. So what I'm saying is, we have the technology to create a beautiful place to live. Okay, with land reform. If I could be in charge with that, and then the other things would fit in, farming. We're moving things around. We're talking to the farmers that know, not like Bill Gates and the billionaires. They have to let go of that crap, and we let the industry leaders of the farmers that really know what should be doing to get rid of the pesticides and really take care of our land, that we're farming, so that it stays lush and good, right? Okay, so um, and then if we're moving everything around, right, what we're doing is opening up more wildlife area. And my whole goal, which would take about 100 years, but you can sorry, you can take all our national and state parks, and we could weave, because even if you have a mile long corridor of natural wilderness that uh, have in the middle of it fruit trees, vegetable trees, and a lush uh, Garden of Eden for the animals, to give them food so they don't have to wander out of that area. They know, oh, my food's right in here, right? And then we even have the technology to move rivers and design, and but we have to clean our rivers, right? And we have all this other stuff. So this is why it will take uh, my plan 100 years at least to get to where I'm saying, and I'm ready to do that. Okay, long term plan. And that's the problem also with our leaders and everybody, is they are trying to only do short term plans for their life. They aren't trying to connect a long term plan for our species, because they don't. Nobody believes that we're going to exist for another 1,000 years, because everyone's so focused on, oh, God's going to end the world, don't worry, and Jesus is going to come back and save us all and take, and so we don't have to. So we have to create this long-term plan, and I have it, okay, and it's a great start. But again, we have to get the billionaires and the leaders on board.